We are working in the Green Big Ideas Record and Practice Journal, and today we are working on 6.4 and we are working on absolute value. And I have a whole bunch of problems here today dealing with finding absolute value and then comparing and ordering absolute value. The absolute value symbol is just the two lines and the numbers inside the two lines. And basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to find out what the maximum value that number could ever have. So the absolute value of 7, the biggest 7 could ever be, would be 7. It's important to note that absolute value will not be a negative answer. For number 4, negative 31, what's the biggest or what is the greatest number negative 31 could ever be? And the answer for that would be 31. Again, note that the absolute value answers are not going to be negative. Even though this appears that it's just going to be the opposite of negative 31, when you have a negative 31, your absolute value is going to be positive. If you have a positive absolute value, your answer is still going to be positive for your absolute value. Now for number 6, we're trying to compare the two. We have negative 9, and then we have the absolute value of negative 10. Well, the absolute value of negative 10 would simply be 10. So we just want to change that to 10, and then we want to say negative 9 would be less than 10. Negative 9 would be less than 10. For number 7, we have two absolute value problems. The absolute value of 8, remember, would simply be 8, and the absolute value of negative 8 would simply be 8. So therefore, for number 7, it would be equal. For number 9, it's a little bit harder to read, but for 9, we just want to put these in the correct order. So we just want to go through and we just want to make sure we can find the absolute value. So for negative 12, the absolute value for negative 12 would be 12. This would stay negative 21 because we do not have the absolute value symbols. The absolute value of 25 would again just stay the same. It'd be 25. The absolute value of negative 31, which we used up here in number 4, is going to be simply 31. We have negative 14 and we have 33. And then what we just have to do is we just have to put them in order from least to greatest. So the one that is farthest away from 0 on our negative number line would be negative 21. Then we would have negative 14. Then it looks like we would have 12. We finally got into the positive world. We're into 12. We have 25 would be next with 4. We have 31 would be 5. And then the last one, or the biggest number, would be 33. Once again, this was absolute value dealing with 6.4. Remember your symbols for absolute value. Absolute value will not be a negative number.